Steady now.
Once considered the granddaddy of first-person shooters, Wolfenstein would start to struggle in the late 2000s, while the rivals it set the groundwork for enjoyed a commercial boom. Switching publishers, struggling commercial performance, and critical apathy led to a 5-year lull until 2014's The New Order. It seemed promising, offering an alternative history shooter which saw Nazis win the Second World War. But it also marked the debut from Machine Games, which could have seen teething problems you'd expect from a first outing. Instead, BJ Blazkowicz's return marked one of the sleeper hits of 2014 and a rebirth for the once ailing series. Even a decade later, there's so many remarkable traits to this one that it's worth revisiting. BJ Blazkowicz is once again fighting a war against the Nazi forces, as he and a crew storm the castle of high-ranking scientist and series nemesis Death's Head. Only, things don't quite go to plan, with the operation failing and Blazkowicz ending up in a comatose state for 14 years. Shockingly, the unthinkable happens. The Nazis win World War II.
The war ain't over. Look at all these Nazis walking around.
They won!
However, with BJ awakening and beginning to gather resistance forces, their stranglehold may come to an end. For a series never known for storytelling prowess, The New Order proves narratively engaging. The alt history setting, seeing places like London warped to Nazi states, is intriguing as it is, but a raft of memorable characters and story moments ensure it doesn't feel superficial. Williams' gruff persona gels well with a myriad of side characters, whether it's his love interest Anya, who serves as the soft yin to his aggressive yang, or the lively Scotsman Fergus Reed. The villains are as detestable as you'd expect, with the sadistic Frau Engel proving the skin-crawling highlight. Bringing Wolfenstein into the 2010s was no small task, but Machine Games would craft a single-player campaign that feels both faithful to prior games but reinvigorated. Across a meaty 16 levels, stages are mostly dense and offer multiple paths to accomplish the same goal. In the prologue mission, you can opt to either blow the door down or detonate a nearby missile shed to offer a more covert entry point. Secrets are littered in each stage too, encouraging you to trek off the beaten path and explore. It recalls the structure of older games, but adds welcome modernisations such as less labyrinthine layouts and more distinct locations. Seeing familiar locales such as a prison yard, Berlin and London, but warped with Nazi influence such as propaganda, helps bring the alt history concept to life beautifully. There's also a lot of uncomfortably immersive moments, as a majority of scenes play out in-game, even if that sees Blazkowicz brutally attacked. It's a fantastically paced, engaging campaign. Playing The New Order feels fantastic, thanks to a silky smooth performance and airtight combat. Guns handle beautifully, feeling responsive and snappy to fire. A light cover system adds a modern touch without feeling intrusive. Armaments are also potent, with powerful assault rifles and dismembering shotguns mixing with more outlandish weaponry, such as laser cannons. Stealth also plays a key role here, and although that might signal alarm bells, it works fantastically here.
Wake up, you're dead.
Areas often see you undetected to start with, and you can opt to pick off foes with brutal knife kills, pop heads with a silenced pistol, or even throw knives. It feels gratifying, and nailing a clean run is immensely rewarding, as you can explore freely afterwards, but it isn't punishing. Commanders can call in for backup, which can feel overwhelming initially, but the seamless transition between stealth and combat ensures you aren't overly punished for going gun-ho. Whether you approach things loud or quiet, this Wolfenstein is seriously fun. That's not to say everything in the New Order is a home run. The perks system sounds good in concept, with 4 categories of tasks which reward boons. Performing 5 silent takedowns, for example, rewards the ability to throw knives. Unfortunately, it's very easy to max these out fast, as restarting a checkpoint doesn't reset progress, and the system feels superficial as a result. While the difficulty balance is mostly fine, seeing a tough yet fair set of encounters, some moments feel cheaper, such as the tedious final boss. In contrast, a few stages see you return to base and help the Resistance with a few fetch quests. While it's cool to uncover hidden story moments and collectibles, the fetching does grow wearisome by the 3rd time or so. There's also the key choice made during the prologue, which branches into 2 timelines.
So stubborn, Captain Blazkowicz. It's a good trait, mine is patience. I have an endless supply.
It sounds like it could make quite the impact, but ultimately, the story and missions play out nearly identically either way. Sure, it rewards a few unique paths and cutscenes change slightly, but it's typically only minor aesthetic differences. That being said, the game boasts a generous lifespan, especially considering it's single player only. The campaign takes a good 12 hours to beat, with further longevity depending on your thoroughness for collectibles. Difficulty also plays a factor, as the higher settings recall the tougher days of older shooters and require skill to beat. There are also a few bonus modes, unlocked by finding Enigma codes, that genuinely shake up how you play and feel more worthwhile than the timeline changes.
Hold on. I can hear someone out there. Someone's coming. Oh, that's him.
Wolfenstein's 8th gen debut is weird to analyse, as it's simultaneously impressive and dated. The main positive is the aforementioned performance, a blistering 60 frames per second that never dips even during intense encounters. This means it handles as well as even the best Call of Duty, but the actual visuals themselves can vary wildly. A lot of the levels are impressively detailed, boast good lighting, and cool little touches such as destructible environments evident when shooting. But the texture work can be quite lackluster, especially at close inspection, and pop-in issues rear their head occasionally. It's not a terrible looking game, but it seems some of the last gen work lingered here. The audio fares much better, with quality voice work that deftly balances somber moments with genuinely comedic timing.
Here I was, getting ready for the eternal nap, and this Nazi-killing jammy bastard shows up out of nowhere.
Potent gunfire and explosions, particularly when robots detonate, and quality music from Mick Gordon, mixing cues from 60s music, chomping metal guitar riffs, and quieter, emotional tracks.
Come on, let's get out of here! This way, quickly!
It wasn't easy to gauge how well Wolfenstein would jump into the 2010s, but considering the New Order has spawned multiple sequels since, it can only be seen as a success. Machine Games' debut remains a great time, managing the difficult task of making a faithful yet fresh entry. A fascinating alt history story, memorable characters, and razor-sharp combat blend together very well, and whilst some issues detract from these highs at points, it's mostly a hell of a lot of fun. First-person shooter aficionados should find a ton to like here, and even those who don't know their Wolfenstein from their World at War will enjoy this one.